Hi, my name is Mike Barton, Vice President of Business Development for Surge Suppression Incorporated. I would like to discuss the importance of commissioning. When a new project is designed by an engineer, many times both the engineer and manufacturer who have been involved in the design know exactly what is expected. While it is assumed that the installer and owner know this as well, unfortunately that is not the case in most instances, and as a result, the unintended consequences can have devastating and very costly effects. Case in point, back in 2006, Surge Suppression Incorporated was involved in a high-profile project for a very large casino owner in the U.S. On this particular project, there were an extensive amount of SPDs being supplied throughout various locations within the system. The project went out for bid, was awarded, and submittals sent. A few months later, the order was placed and all items were shipped to the job site for installation and everything went well, or so we thought. Approximately 1 year later, we received a call from the specifying engineer stating he just heard from the owner that this new facility had just suffered a lightning strike and lost several slot panels and slot machines as well. As you can imagine, the owner was not happy and wanted to know how this was possible given the expense they incurred for good surge suppression at this facility. At this point, the engineer was also asking us the same question. It is important to note that there was a full designation list provided as part of the submittal package, essentially showing the engineer and contractor what exact models, voltages, etc. went to what exact panels. There were also very detailed instructions for installations within the written specification, as well as the general guidance provided by the NEC. Upon learning of this entire situation, we sent one of our best techs out to the job site, armed with a panel and SPD designation list, at no cost to the owner or engineer, to investigate the source of the problem. While there, he discovered that there were models intended for the service entrance panels that were applied to the branch panels, and vice versa. Further, we learned that the entire installation was incorrect, including some installations with 30 foot or more of wire length on them, thereby rendering the SPD virtually ineffective. We also checked the exterior lighting panels while on site, as we never received the actual order for that equipment, and discovered it was, in fact, the wrong equipment, manufacturer, etc. Finally, we provided a report with all of our findings and corrective actions to the engineer. The contractor ordered and installed the correct parts and related equipment, and we then did another walkthrough to ensure that all was done correctly and reported back to the owner and engineer. Thankfully, after 2 unscheduled trips to the job site by SSI, countless meetings with the owner, downtime, repair and replacement costs of slot panels, etc., and the embarrassment of the contractor, engineer, and SSI in the eyes of the owner, the project was finally completed and certified by SSI. At the end of the day, this oversight was very costly to SSI and the casino owner, as well as very stressful on the specifying engineer, and it was all preventable. The more we began to pay attention to this issue, the more we noticed that unfortunately many consultants throughout the U.S. do not have the opportunity to commission the projects they specify, and consequently these problems are becoming more and more frequent. Recognizing this, SSI took a leadership role in addressing this issue specifically with owners and engineers by offering a commissioning service to ensure that the owner is being provided with the protection they paid for, the engineer is getting exactly what he specified, and all responsibility is put squarely where it should be, on the installing contractor and the SPD manufacturer. Best of all, this commissioning service is quoted at the time of bid as the initial quoted package for all to see, similar to a switchgear manufacturer startup service. And this is always scheduled to be performed and completed prior to the final inspection of the project. Had this commissioning requirement been in place when this project bid, the downtime, costly repairs, and peace of mind lost throughout this process could have been avoided. This firm and client have begun using this service several years ago for all current and future projects, and I'm happy to report that we have had zero recurrence of this throughout nearly $1 billion in projects globally with this one engineering firm alone. This service is something we found that is absolutely critical in high-profile designs or with clients who have already experienced damage and or are in a very high electrical disturbance geographic location. If you are a designer, engineer, or owner, and you are applying surge protection to your system to protect your investment, you owe it to your clients and yourself to look very closely at what this type of service offers, both in time and money. This is why we strongly recommend that someone commission the system to ensure you are getting what you specified, what was paid for, and that it's all done properly. Without this service, as described earlier, it leaves the owner, engineer, and SPD manufacturer exposed to further damage and liability while having the false sense of security that their investments are protected and their bottom line will no longer suffer as an unintended consequence. For more information on this service, how it works, as well as the benefits and costs, please contact SSI directly, toll-free at 888-987-8877, via email at info@surgesuppression.com, or via our live chat feature found on our website at www.surgesuppression.com. Thank you for your attention.